Hello and welcome to the Vinyl Sanctuary. My name is Christian and I hope that you will join me in taking refuge in records. So I'm here today with part 2 of a 2-part episode where I'm looking at animal cover art in my vinyl collection. And as explained in part 1, which I'll pop a link to that video in the description box to this video that you're watching now, in case you haven't seen part 1, the idea was put forward by Jessie, a very dear friend of mine who's been tuning into the channel since it began. And Jessie's idea came about through this year's album art tag, which Jack over at the Vinyl Voyage put together. He created that. So I'll pop a link to Jack's channel as well so that you can go and check out what he's been up to, as well as watch all of the entries to date that have taken part in the album art tag. There's a playlist over there that you can watch at your leisure. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into this because there are a lot more albums than I originally anticipated. I rather boldly claimed in part 1 that I had a total of 88 albums in my collection that have got animals on the front cover. So I originally had my batch in 2 lots of 44. I explain all that in part 1. However, following a conversation with a friend of mine down the pub about 3 or 4 days after I'd recorded that first video, it transpired that I'd actually missed quite a few albums in my collection that have got animals on the front. So I ended up having to take some time out, a bit longer than I actually planned, to go through all of my albums again. And I have got a rather large collection, and again I was cross-referencing on Discogs, which I mentioned in part 1. And the final number is actually 97, not 88, 97. So there's quite a few extra records here that I'm going to be showing that I did not originally anticipate. So I hold my hands up to that. I did try to be as thorough as possible, but there were just a few creatures and animals here and there that were hiding away on those front covers, and they just completely slipped me by. So I did do my best to try and be thorough in the first place, but I'm actually really glad that I checked again, because it means now that I have been able to show another 9 records that wouldn't have been included had I have not taken the time to look again. So there's a couple here at the beginning that would have been in part 1 because I split them up alphabetically. I'll show those now and then I'm just going to get cracking. So very much like I did in the first part, these are not going to be in-depth, exhaustive, detailed reviews or analyses of these albums. It's just a bit of fun just to show you what albums I've got in my own collection with animals on the front cover, and hopefully you will enjoy what I'm about to show today. So be prepared, it could be quite a long one. Okay, so kicking us off then, here's one that Jessie actually did point out to me in the comments section for part 1 that completely slipped me by. Quite embarrassed about that, but thank you, Jessie, for rescuing me. We've got kicking us off today the B-52s with Whammy, and as you can see quite clearly there's an animal on the front cover, but it just must have passed me by. But you know, fair play to Jessie for remembering that I've shown this album on the channel before, and he remembered obviously the dog being on there, and I'm able now to right that wrong from part 1. So yeah, nice album this one. Not my favourite B-52s album, but it has got some great songs on it. Do particularly like the opening track, Legal Tender. So and there's a couple of other catchy tunes on there as well. So thanks, Jessie, for that one. Okay, here's one that did originally slip me by, but I'm not going to keep, mentioning all that all the way through because we'll be here forever. But this one did slip me by originally, so this would have been in part 1 as well. We have got Love, the brilliant Love, psychedelic rock band from the 1960s, based in California, and that is Electra Remasters. And you can just see here, there's like a little fishy there, and yeah, there's like some other creatures and animals knocking around there on that cover. So I had to look a little bit closer to find those. So there's Love. And this is a really superb collection covering their first few albums. So the self-titled debut, Da Capo, and Forever Changes as well. Absolutely brilliant entry point for Love if you're looking to get something to get you started with their discography. This would be a really good place to start, an excellent compilation. Okay, next one. So yeah, in part 1 I mentioned my very dear friend Mark, who is a drummer, and he plays in a tribute group to this band that I'm going to show you right now. This again should have been one that I showed in part 1, but Mark bailed me out. We've got Marillion with Misplaced Childhood. Lovely album. Obviously it's got the massive hits Kaylee and Lavender on here as well. But yeah, really, really nice album, that one. So a little bit of sort of a newish discovery to me. That might seem a bit daft saying that given how old Marillion are and how old I am, but they are a band that I have grown to appreciate much more through watching my very dear friend Mark, and also Mike is a very dear friend of mine as well who plays bass in that group. I've just been so proud of them touring around the country playing in this tribute group to Marillion, and they have really inspired me to check out the band on a deeper level. So they play like Fish era stuff in their band. So Misplaced Childhood and Fugazi are the two Marillion records that I have in my vinyl collection. Okay, so that kind of takes us up to date now in terms of the ones. Those three there would have been in part one. So this is kind of M now going all the way down to Z. Okay, so this next album cover was actually quite controversial at the time, as it's parodying the mascot of a certain, well, a global company. So this record had to be reissued with the offending logo or graphic on the front cover removed and just the head instead. So we've got here Hippopotamomus by Momus, and this is actually one of Momus's, for me, one of his best albums. So Momus is Nick Curry. He's a Scottish singer-songwriter, extremely prolific, has dabbled in every genre that you can possibly think of. And Momus, his name is his name taken for his musical endeavours. Momus is the Greek god of mockery and criticism, I believe. So a very apt name for Nick Curry, a wonderful lyricist. Hippopotamus, quite a tricky one to get the tongue round. It's an excellent album. It's got some great songs on here, some of my favourites. By the man, including Marquis of Sadness is brilliant. Ventriloquists and Dolls has got like a bit of a magazine vibe to it. But he is somebody who is quite divisive in terms of his lyrical output. He does go into some pretty dark territory at times, but very, very fearless in what he does and very much has always trodden his own path. So that's Momus with Hippopotamomus. Okay, coming up now, we've got a couple here that I know Jesse will be very, very happy to see. So we've got the Mothers here with Cruising with Ruben and the Jets. So I have included that there. They're like, anthropomorphic animals, like they're supposed to be like dogs, I think. So this is a superb record, very, very doo-wop inspired, this one. Pretty much a doo-wop record all the way through, and you get a fabulous photo here of Frank on the back there, very much in his, I'd say like his kind of like very 1950s look there going on. Looks really cool, actually. It's quite unusual seeing Zappa like that without the famous, soul patch and the tash and everything there. So, yeah, great, great album, that one that I enjoy a great deal. And then we've got Zappa here again with the Mothers, very much rocking that classic look there on the back. Superb album art here. We've got Weasels Rip My Flesh. Always love that front cover. Absolutely crazy cover, really, but works really, really well. Another great, great album. And yeah, this is the one that's got, My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama on here, which is one of my favourite Zappa tunes. What else do I like on here as well? I think Directly from Heart to You, from what I recall, that's a Little Richard one, I think, isn't it? Really, he'd written that, I think, so that's on here as well. But yeah, just a really, really enjoyable album, that one. Like that one a lot. Okay, then we've got this is a lovely album, one of my favourite albums of all time, coming up here from 1982. We've got Orange Juice here with You Can't Hide Your Love Forever. Orange Juice famously signed to Postcard Records. It was founded by Alan Horn in Glasgow. Just a wonderful band, this one. This is an essential album. Please do get it. Consolation prizes on here, Falling and Laughing, and a great cover of L.O.V.E. Love by Al Green as well. Great, great album and a beautiful cover. And then we've got another Orange Juice one here with an animal on the front. Yeah, got the dolphin there again. We've got Texas Fever, which is it's like an EP in essence, I think, isn't it? Or like a mini album. Good one, this one. Not played it for a long time, but I do remember A Sad Lament being on there, yeah, which is really, really nice. And it opens up side 2 the day I went down to Texas. So yeah, that's another one there, Orange Juice. And I'm conscious to say I've got a lot of records here. There's over 50 to go, so I'm going to try and motor through these. And hopefully you can just get a bit of a taste of each album. And if anybody wants to find out a little bit more about these albums, what I think of them, then please do feel free to drop me a comment. Please do that in the comments section, or you can even send me an email. I've got a new email set up now dedicated to the channel. You can message me at thevinylsanctuary@gmail.com. Okay, so moving on. This is a great shoegaze album now. This was on the 4AD label. Got Pale Saints here, and it gets extra bonus points for me personally because it's got a cat on the front. And as I explained in part 1, for anyone who's new to me tuning in, I'm a cat fanatic. This is a beautiful, beautiful album, this one, because I love shoegaze. It's got some excellent songs on here. Sight of You in particular is absolutely amazing. Insubstantial's on here as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, if you're into shoegaze, you're looking to get into something that, you know, in that sort of My Bloody Valentine sort of realm, very sort of dream poppy in places as well, then please do check out Pale Saints. And that album is called Comfort of Madness. Really, really good album, that. Okay, moving on. What have we got here? Ah, yeah, an obvious one here now. Some people might have already have been thinking, would this band appear in my collection? They do. There is a big album with an animal on the front cover by this band, which isn't in my vinyl collection, so therefore it's not eligible for inclusion, which is Atom Heart Mother by Pink Floyd. But I have got this one, which is called Animals, very aptly. And as you can see there, we've got the pig there flying above Battersea Power Station. There we go. So that is Animals. Great, great album, this one. This is the one with Pigs on the Wing on it, parts 1 and 2, that bookend the album. Sheep's on here as well, and then you get dogs as well. So yeah, devoted to animals, that one. So very, very apt, and I'm glad to have that one in the collection. Okay, moving on from Pink Floyd, we're back to 4AD again for a little while. 2 essential albums here by a band that I absolutely adore. So this one here is one of my favourite albums ever. We have got Pixies with Doolittle. So there we go. That was an animal that I couldn't miss really on that one. Still kicking myself about the B-52s, but I've got to get over it. Didn't miss this one. Yeah, Doolittle, arguably Pixies' finest hour, or half an hour, 40 minutes to be more precise. Wonderful album. It's got noise rock on it. It's got surf pop on there. Mr. Greaves has even got a bit of a reggae tinge on that song. It is just a perfect album for me, beginning to end, start to finish. Debaser opens it up, Gouge Away brings it to a close, and it is just a fantastic listen from beginning to end. Doolittle Pixies. And then we've also got the Pixies here with Bossa Nova. And there's our animal represented there, little mole there in the corner. So yeah, this was the follow-up to Doolittle, this one. So this came out, I think it was 1990, and this is very much more in a surfy kind of, a surf rock kind of vein thread. An interesting one, this one, because I loved it, absolutely loved it when I was younger, when I was first really getting into the Pixies. I still do enjoy this album, but I don't feel I love it quite as much as I did when I was younger. Still highly rate it, but it's interesting. I think maybe the likes of Trompe Le Monde might have, for me as I've gotten a bit older, maybe surpassed it one for me now personally. But it is still a very, very good listen. You know, Valoria's on here, Dig for Fire. There's some really good songs on here. Cecilia Ran is brilliant. Great, a great instrumental, that one. Yeah, it's instrumental, that one, isn't it? Yeah, great, like sort of really surfy, twangy guitar work. So really, really good album. Please do check that one out. Yeah, motoring along here. So I might be speaking a little bit rapid fire today, so maybe some of my facts might get a little bit mixed up, but it's keeping me on my toes and it's getting my brain, my old grey matter working. So give myself a little bit of a mental workout here. Okay, so now we've gone from one of my favourite bands ever to my favourite artist of all time, the one and only Prince, with the Batman soundtrack, released in 1989. And for anybody old enough to remember Batman Landing, this was an absolute phenomenon. It really, really was. I mean, this was one of the most eagerly anticipated films of the year, and it, you know, went on to do, you know, tons and tons and tons of money at the box office. But we had Prince helming the soundtrack, and yeah, couldn't miss that big bat there. So yeah, this is, you know, it's not one of my favourite Prince albums, but you know, it works as a soundtrack. Electric Chair's on here, which is a really good song. I've always enjoyed Electric Chair, and Vicky Waiting's pretty good as well, but it does what it does. And it's also got Bat Dance on here, which was a massive hit for Prince as well. So there we go, we've got the Batman soundtrack there. Next up, we've got, this was the project that Perry Farrell was involved in. Perry Farrell of Jane's Addiction, of course. This was his group prior to Jane's Addiction. We've got here Psychom. This is a really good album if you're not aware of it. Got the animal there in the background there. Quite a disturbing cover, that. So won't show that for too long. I'll show you that there at the back as well on that one. There's where's Perry? struggling to recognise him there. Those faces distorted. Yeah, I think it might be. I'm going to guess. That might be Perry there. I'm not 100% sure actually. But yeah, Psycom. So very gothic. Great sort of post-punk alternative music, superb, superbly done. A very interesting exploration of pre-Perry's work, really, in terms of how he sounds vocally and the sort of music he was doing prior to Jane's Addiction. So please do check that one out if you are interested in learning a little bit more about Perry Farrell and what he was doing prior to joining, obviously, a band that went on to make an indelible mark in music history. Okay, so coming up now then, we have got some 60s Psych. This is an album that I do need to spend a bit more time with, but it gets bonus marks again for the animal that it's chosen to feature on the front cover and in the band name as well. So we've got here Pussy, and this is Pussy Plays. Have listened to it a couple of times. I did really enjoy it. Very psyche. This is a limited edition copy that I've got here, and it's been described on the hype sticker as an ultra rare psychedelic rock album. Not quite sure how rare it is. I will show you the back cover on this one as well, just because it's got a fabulous photograph on there. Though some people might think that's a little bit, ooh. But no, it's a very eye-catching photograph. That's actually quite full on there with the drops of blood there. So yeah, it's quite it's quite an interesting listen, this one, but it's one that I need to spend a bit more time with. But yeah, if you're into your psych, 60s psych, chances are you've probably already heard of this one or you've already got it. But if you haven't, please do check it out. And with it being a coloured vinyl, this one, I'll just get it out very quickly to show you. It's quite nice to be able to see that type of thing every now and again. I don't always get records out on these videos, but that's a nice one there to show. Okay, so we'll just pop that one away, and then we're going to get moving on to one of my favourite ever rock bands. And the band in question that I'm about to show features my all-time favourite singer. There's a couple of people competing with him in other genres, soul singers and things, but this guy for me he is the guy in terms of rock perfection with his vocal ability. So coming up now, we've got Queen. And there you can see a variety of animals there being represented there in a Queen's crest, which takes its inspiration from the astrological signs of the band members. So you've got, of course, Freddie Mercury, Brian May, John Deacon, and Roger Taylor. So we've got a Night at the Opera here with that iconic crest on there. This is the album, of course, with a Bohemian Rhapsody on it. Finishes off with God Save the Queen. I'm in Love with My Cars on here as well. Yeah, this is a really good Queen album. This one, arguably their best, but not my favourite personally. But it is an extremely good album, and I do love Freddie's vocal performance throughout the entire thing. His voice on it is just magnificent. Okay, and then we've also got Date the Races as well with the crest on. There we go, Date the Races. So yeah, we've got on here Tie Your Mother Down. What song? Yeah, Somebody to Love. One of my all-time favourite Queen tracks. Never get tired of listening to that. It's got a good old-fashioned Loverboy on here as well. And if I turn it around, you can see the animals there again on the back. The symbols, there you go. So yeah, really nice Queen album, that one. And then we've got another Queen one to show. This is a compilation, but it's it's eligible for inclusion because it's got that crest on it again on the front cover. This is the Greatest Hits Volume 2, this one. So, I mean, the original Greatest Hits is just absolutely sublime, all that early 70s, mid-70s stuff they were doing. This one here is superb as well. There's a few on here that I'm not as keen on. I mean, I know all these songs inside out and back to front because I grew up listening to Queen, and my mum and dad actually had this, I think it was called Greatest Flicks. They actually had the VHS of all the music videos for all the songs which are on this album, and it was played to death. I mean, honestly, it really was. Never got tired of it, but I think just as I've got a bit older, some of the songs, I mean, I still love them for nostalgic purposes, but I think in terms of an actual album from a listening perspective, Greatest Hits, the original one, I think does blow this one out of the water. But there are some amazing songs on here. You've got Kind of Magic, Under Pressure, Radio Gaga, I Want to Break Free, Innuendo is amazing. Who Wants to Live Forever from the Highlander soundtrack. There's a couple of others on here as well from there. Hammer to Fall is amazing. One Vision as well to close. Yeah, there are some excellent stuff on there, but there's a few others that I'm a bit met about as I'm getting a bit older, getting a bit more fussy. Okay, now we've got another group coming up that I love to bits. We have got here coming out of Athens, Georgia, pretty much just pioneered or cemented the whole legacy of college rock over in the USA. We have got R.E.M. with Reckoning, and this is my all-time favourite R.E.M. album. For me, they never ever top this one, never. They got close to it a few times for me. This is only my opinion, but this for me is where it's at when it comes to R.E.M. It is an astonishing record. I can't tell you how much I love it. Came out, I think this one was 1984 from memory. I think there or thereabouts, 84. I'm going to put my I'm going to nail my colours to the mast and say 84 there with that one. But yeah, this is just perfection from start to finish. I just love the vibe of it. Got the snakes there on the front, of course, which qualifies it for being included. Please check out Reckoning. It's just a wonderful, wonderful album, that one. Time after time, I absolutely love to bits. I love the whole thing. Pretty Persuasion, Semi-Chinese Brothers. Yeah, please just check it out. Could talk all day about that one and a lot of others. This is another R.E.M. album that's superb as well. Got Life's Rich Pageant. Got the Buffalo there, which are quite sort of difficult to see. Really, it wasn't one that I did miss out. It wasn't, but it could quite easily have been. And then you've got Bill Berry, the drummer, there at the top as well. So yeah, this is a lovely album. Begin the Begin, great opener, nice little jangly intro riff on that by Peter Buck, as you'd expect. Kaya Holger is excellent, I Believe. Fall on Me, Michael Stipe, heartbreaking voice on that one, love it. And then there's a cover of Superman on there as well, which isn't listed on the back here on the tracks. But yeah, really nice album, that one by R.E.M. Okay, next up, moving away from the US now, going over to Oxfordshire. Another shoegazy band, so kind of similar to Pale Saints, but these have got a really jingly jangly sort of Birdsian vibe going on. Beautiful harmonies as well. They definitely have that in common with Pale Saints in terms of having quite angelic vocals. We've got here Ride, who are a superb band, truly superb, and we've got their OX4 or OX4. I think it's OX4. It's like a postcode reference. I think the best of Ride. This is a superb collection. This one. So you've got some tracks on here from the earlier years, a couple of EPs represented, Chelsea Girls on here. Taste is an amazing song, love Taste. And then you've got some brilliant cuts from Nowhere, great album, Vapor Trails on here. And then you've got some totally brilliant songs on side C. It's a double disc of this one. Leave Them All Behind, Twisterella, and OX4 as well. Twisterella in particular is a super power pop song, so just show you very quickly the inside of that one. I would have shown more of these gatefolds and stuff, but there's so many here, so I'll just show the odd one or two. So yeah, please do check out Ride if you're intrigued or curious at all by how I described them. And that is a really good collection to get you started, that one. Okay, now we've got coming up, oh yeah, these are pretty famous, you might have heard of these. Got the Rolling Stones here with Get Your Yah-Yahs Out. Front cover there, it's Charlie Watts there jumping about. So it always makes me smile, that cover. It's a great front cover. Yeah, brilliant album. Live record. You got some absolutely just killer Rolling Stones songs on here. Jumping Jack Flash, Love in Vain, Sympathy for the Devil's on here, Honky Tonk Women, Street Fighting Man. Yeah, I mean, be interested to know in the comments how highly regarded people who tune into me would say this record is within the Stones' discography and as a live album. Would you say it is one of the all-time greats? Please do let me know. Get your yayas out. Right, still in the UK for now. We've got I think it's two albums here by the same group. Getting into the kind of the glam rock art rock era for a while now. This has got a really super stylish front cover, this one. It's a gatefold, so I have to try and open it out. So we've got here For Your Pleasure. See if you can see that panther there. There we go, just the eyes and the teeth and the tongue there. That could have been an easy one to miss if I wasn't so familiar with the cover and with the album, but straight away this came into my thinking. And then you've got Brian Ferry there, the chauffeur there over at the side. Yeah, this is a superb album. This is a gatefold worth showing in the middle as well, just because it's got some great photographs of the group in the middle there. Truly brilliant then. There you go. And yeah, as an album, one of their very, very best. In Every Dream, Home of Heartache is one of my favourite ever. Roxy Music songs, Do the Strand, what an opener. For Your Pleasure as well, which closes the record off, is immense as well. So yeah, For Your Pleasure, it is an album that's deserving of all its plaudits that it's accrued over the years. So please do check it out. And then we've got another great Roxy Music album here, right at the end. This is in terms of they're sort of like they've gone into this very smooth, sophisticated era. This was Brian Ferry, in the well, I mean, he'd always wore like tuxes and things, I mean, dinner jackets and stuff like that. But I think just in terms of musically, where Roxy went from being very experimental and very kind of on the edge and almost like avant-garde in places and stuff. This was very sort of straight up commercial, very slick. But I also think that they did that beautifully, and that era is represented here in Avalon. And what an absolutely gorgeous front cover that is. I mean, that is a stunning photograph, isn't it? That one, Avalon. And yeah, I do love this album. Absolutely love it. This was from '82. Yeah, 1982. This one, year of my birth, and an album that I did grow up listening to. I always loved the song Avalon, absolutely beautiful. More than this as well, the opener, one of my favourites ever album openers on any album ever. It made it into my top 100. Which is a 10-part series on this channel for anyone who may be tuning in to me who hasn't seen that. That was something I had a lot of fun doing, and I will at some point later this year be doing my top 100 favourite album closers as well. But yeah, more than this, just a little spoiler there for everybody. Did make it into the list. So yeah, that is a great album. That one, love that. Yeah, might have to listen to that again. India's Gorgeous on there as well. Might need to listen to that one again soon. Okay, how are we doing here? I'm not even going to say how many we've got left because I'm just going to keep motoring through. But if you are still with me at this point, thank you very, very much indeed. I hugely appreciate it. And I do hope that you're enjoying what I've shown you so far and what I go on to show. Okay, so we're getting into some, should we see, 60s sort of jazzy psychedelic rock with like a, Latin flavour to it. Got a brilliant front cover here in Santana. Look at that front cover there with the lion, and then you've got all the, you've got the lady there hidden within it as well with the dress on and everything. If you look really closely, I'll just leave that there for a second. You can point out there's all kinds. Got the two faces staring here. You've got a face up here as well. Such a clever piece of work. That beautiful work. That great front cover. So hopefully that'll do it justice, and it's coming through okay on the screen. But yeah, this is a great album. This one, not listened to it for a while. Acquired it fairly recently, ish, compared to other albums in my collection. I actually did a video where I revealed when I'd acquired this. So at the time of recording, it's not one that's been in my collection forever, and I do need to listen to it a bit more. But I massively enjoyed it when I put it on. It's very very sort of chilled to me in a lot of respects. So it's something that I think, depending on mood, I'm going to spin it again sooner rather than later. Okay, now we've got a superb post-punk group now from Edinburgh. This came out in the early 1980s. We have got here Scars with Author. You've got your animals and creatures here represented. You've got the snakes there around what looks like a sort of like a Day of the Dead mask type thing going on there. Author by Scars. Brilliant record, honestly. I was pretty obsessed with this when I first got it. Just could not stop listening to it. It's if trying to kind of who I would even compare it to, really, just got a sound all of its own. I think if you're into maybe more like the kind of the earlier phase of the Cure, perhaps, but they're definitely more jagged and more angular than the Cure, than those early Cure records anyway. I think as a track to start with, maybe if you want to check them out on YouTube or Spotify. Actually, I don't think they're on Spotify. Beg your pardon. Leave Me in Autumn. You can check that one out on YouTube to start. David is brilliant. That's almost got like a bit of an Echo and the Bunnymen sort of bass line thing going on with it. The lady in the car with glasses on and a gun is a really compelling storyline to it. Yeah, it's just a really great album all the way through, and then it finishes with quite a poppy number in All About You, which is a fabulous closer as well. But please do check that one out, Author by Scars. Right, here's another group from Scotland. These came before Scars. Got the one and only Alex Harvey with his sensational band. And this is Tomorrow Belongs to Me. And I thought I'd stick this one here because you've got like a dinosaur on the front cover. I did say in part one that there are a few creatures and animals and stuff that would be included. And we've got like a fantastical sort of fictional creature coming up on the next record I'm showing. So yeah, I've stuck this one in. This is a really nice album. I do absolutely love the sensational Alex Harvey band. I mean, for me, they're one of those groups that when I get talking to people who are into them, they are really, really into them, love them. And then there's other people that I've spoken to who don't really know who they are, or they might have only have heard them by name. So yeah, this came out on the Vertigo label, this one. Where are we? Vertigo over there. And yeah, I mean, it's a really strong album, this one. Again, it's not my favourite Alex Harvey album, but it has got some brilliant songs on here. It's got Action Strasser to kick it off, which is superb. The Tale of the Giant Stone Eaters one I've always enjoyed, and I love on side two, Give My Compliments to the Chef. So yeah, another great record to check out if you're into your sort of 70s hard rock with a bit of blues, bit of boogie in there as well, almost some proggy influences in places as well, then please do check out the Sensational X Harvey Band. Right, so now we're going into the 1990s now. This was a group that came out of Camden. This is very much a group that take me back to my teenage years. We have got Silver Sun with their self-titled debut from 1997, I think this was. Again, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to check all this stuff afterwards after I've recorded. Although I could just check on my phone, but I want to keep motoring through. So this is a power pop band, absolutely superb. If you're into the likes of Fountains of Wayne and Weezer and Jellyfish and stuff like that, and you haven't heard of Silver Sun, then please do check them out. Really, really melodic. Taking their cues, I would say, from bands like Cheap Trick and ELO and Badfinger and all that kind of brilliant 70s power poppy stuff that came prior to Silver Sun hitting the scene. Kind of overlooked, I felt, at the time in the mid late 90s. There's me and a few of my friends who really got on board with them and absolutely loved them. There's a great song on here called Lava, which I would urge you all to check out. A great song to get started with. But yeah, I think they were almost like forgotten heroes for me, really, Silver Sun. Quite, a bit of a cult following, but that is a really superb album, that one, produced by Nigel Godrich, that in the same year that he did OK Computer by Radiohead as well. Okay, so coming up now, another group that I love to bits. 19, gosh, when was this one? Was it 84, that one? I think 84. This was when Robert Smith had joined the ranks of this group from The Cure. We've got Susie and the Banshees here with Hyena. And there is a hyena there, hidden within that brilliant sort of stained glass window effects kind of mosaic, super colourful cover. It's textured, that one, from memory, isn't it? Yeah, it is textured sleeve, that one. Really, really nice album. Haven't played it in ages. I'll be really honest, but songs that I know straight off the bat that are kind of stuck in here. You've got Dazzle on here, which is super. Belladonna. What else do I like on here? Um, I was getting confused. I thought this was the one with Slow Dive on it. It's not, is it? No. I have to really listen to this one again, to be honest. It's yeah, Dazzle's superb. Yeah, I need to give that one another listen, really. Hyena. It's not a Susie album that I come back to all that often, which is, clearly evident now from how I've just been speaking about it. But, I do love Susie and the Banshees, but I probably really do need to give that one a check out. The one that I tend to listen to the most with, where Robert Smith was involved in the group is Nocturne, which is a brilliant, brilliant live album. Robert plays on that performance on that record, and it is absolutely stunning, that. And he's playing some older material as well prior to him joining the ranks. But yeah, this is the Susie album that Robert's on. Okay, now we're going over to another favourite of Jesse's here. So we've got the one and only Patti Smith, the Patti Smith Group with Wave. Great front cover there, you can see her there. Superb front cover. She always had fantastic covers, did Patti. This one's produced by Todd Rundgren. It's got Dancing Barefoot on it, which is just unbelievable. Frederick is amazing as well, one of my favourite ever Patti songs. It's also got a version of So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star on here as well. And then it concludes with the self-titled track Wave. So Lovely album from Patti Smith. Please do check that one out. And that's worth showing because it's got the animals again on the back, the birdies there with the group as well. Really, really good photograph. Okay, now back to some more power pop again ish kind of out here. I'd say power pop, huge, huge influence on the college rock scene. Going back to when I mentioned R.E.M a little earlier, this album was a massive, massive influence on R.E.M. Came out this one at the very, very beginning of the night. I think it was 1980 or thereabouts. Very early 80s. This one. We have got Underwater Moonlight by Soft Boys. And this one here is an alternate cover. So I believe there is another pressing of this record with a totally different cover. I think it's got like a papier-mâché sculptures, I think, of like a couple or something like that. But this is the cover that I am familiar with, and yeah, this was a Robin Hitchcock's project, and Kimberly Reid was in this group as well prior to going on to do Katrina and the Waves and stuff. So yeah, this is just a really iconic record. This one, it's got an amazing opener in "I Want to Destroy You," which is just superb. Um, Insanely Jealous, yeah, I was looking else what's on here, that's pretty good. I Got the Hots is on here. And the Queen of Eyes as well, yeah, that's a superb one. I think from memory that one's very, very birdsy in that one, if I recall. But yeah, that is a superb album. So again, if you're into sort of jingly jangly power pop, college rock, that sort of stuff, then please do check out the Soft Boys with Underwater Moonlight. Hey, getting on to something very different here now. So moving away from the UK now, going over to a band that came out of New York. I think this was 87, this one. We have got Sister by Sonic Youth. And as you can see, obviously got the dogs there. So it's eligible for inclusion in my little video here that I'm doing, or big video. And this cover has like had like images blocked out of it due to copyright reasons and stuff. So as you can see, this is not an original pressing of the record. I think the original goes for quite a lot of money, and it's got all the photographs there intact. But yeah, it is a good Sonic Youth album. This one, arguably for many, they're one of their very, very best. I often sort of think to myself, where would I kind of place it if I was to do a ranking of their discography? I still think for me personally, Daydream Nation is the best album that they did, but I do really, really like Sister. It has got like a really nice cohesion to it, so that might be one people who are new to Sonic Youth to check out, or if you're kind of reconnecting with them, then that's a good place to start to go back to. Okay, next up now, we're back to post punk again. A lot of post punk I've noticed in these two parts. So Animals and Post Punk must have a bit of a connection somewhere. This is an awesome album. Again, this is a group that for me everybody should know, or they should be known more than they are. But they have got hugely passionate fans, me being one of them. We have got the sound here with from the Lion's Mouth. Awesome, awesome painting. I'm going to remind myself who painted this because this hangs in the Walker Art Gallery in Liverpool. So I've actually been to see it on a number of occasions. Yes, Briton Riviere, I believe is how you pronounce his name, Briton Riviere, and it is Daniel in the Lion's Den, and it even says here in the sleeve notes here that it hangs, yeah, it's in the Walker Art Gallery, and yeah, this is a reissue, this one, but it's an amazing post punk album. Try and flip the gatefold area out so you can see the full thing. Hopefully that's coming through. There you go. It's a large painting, that one, uh, up pretty high if I recall from memory within the exhibition room that it hangs in. But this is just a lovely album. Winning is a great, great opener. Post punk brilliance, that one. Sense of Purpose is great. Skeletons is awesome. Fatal Flaw is on here as well. New Dark Age, wonderful closer. That is an amazing album from beginning to end, that one. For many people, I would imagine, who are into this sort of era of music, this kind of genre, that it would be one of their all-time faves. So if you're into groups like the Chameleons and stuff like that, and maybe you're not aware of the sound, or Echo and the Bunnymen as well, groups like that, please do check them out. They're awesome, led by the immensely talented Adrian Borland. Okay, so still in the UK now. This one, so I think, yeah, that one came out in it was 81. That one from the Lion's Mouth. I'll double check that one. just to make sure that I'm not going off piece too much with my memory, because I've done quite a few there off the top of my head, and I'm aware of how quick I'm going through these. Yeah, 1981 it was. Right, so this one here is from 79. We have got Cool for Cats by Squeeze, so bonus points again for featuring a cat on the front. Yeah, this has got some of Squeeze's best songs, and I'm a big Squeeze fan. I have been for years from being a kid. It's got Cool for Cats on, obviously the title track, which is, superb. It's Chris Stifford handling vocals on that one. Very memorable. Slap and Tickles on here as well, isn't it? And just remind myself, yes, it is. Side 2, Up the Junction, one of the greatest songs ever written. I mean, that is just the way that story unfolds within that runtime for that song, and that really mournful keyboard part by Jules Holland. What a song Up the Junction is. One of the greatest songs I've ever heard. Goodbye Girls on here as well, which is brilliant. Yeah, that's a really good listen all the way through that one. Superb. Great band, Squeeze. Excellent. Always enjoy listening to them. And there's some really great vocal work and guitar work on here by Glenn Tilbrook as well. There we go. Right, now we're heading over to Liverpool, and at the time of recording, this is again an album that I have acquired for my collection fairly recently, but it has become a firm fave already. It's one of those where I wish I'd known it for longer than I have, but at least I have discovered it. And in actual fact, it's quite apt I'm showing it on here, because given that it was Jack at the Vinyl Voyage with his album art tag that inspired Jesse to make this request to me to do this two-part series, this was an album that I became aware of through Jack's channel. So cheers, Jack, for that. Showing you now The Stairs with Mexican R&B. And there's our animal there on the front cover. And this is just absolutely brilliant. There's nothing more to say about it. I've spoke about it a few times now on the channel since I've acquired it. It's for me just brilliant 60s influence, rhythm and blues, psychedelic, rock tendencies to it. Came out in 1992. It sounds superb. It's got Weed Bus on there, which is like a mashup of The Last Time by the Stones and Magic Bus by The Who. At least that's how I hear it as well. I just enjoy everything on it. Right in the Back of Your Mind is really psychedelic. Russian R&B is really good fun. Mary Joanna's a great opener. Edgar Summertime, who plays bass and sings, has got like a bit of a Mick Jagger sort of Van Morrison growl going on. I think these guys are probably really influenced by groups like them and the Stones, obviously, and maybe like Chocolate Watch Band, maybe some US groups as well, Captain Beefheart, stuff like that. So please do check this one out. It's a superb album, and it's been pretty much glued to my turntable. Bar the odd one getting in every now and again since I've acquired it. So please do check it out. And I'm still convinced as well that they were definitely an influence on the Coral, who were a band that I adored and still do, but when they came out in the early noughties. Okay, here's a group now that I've always loved as well. From sort of late teens, I would say I discovered these through my very dear friend Phil. Phil, if you're tuning in, I hope you're well. You may not remember that you introduced me to this band, but you did. This wasn't the album that I started with. That would have been Pretzel Logic, which I bought on CD back in the day from my local branch of Borders. But this album here is by Steely Dan, and it has got an animal on the front. It's got a katydid on there, to be precise, and that is like a visual pun in relation to the song Katie Lied. It's got a katydid there on the front. Yeah, great album, this one. I think at this point in Steely Dan's career through the 70s, just flawless, pretty much flawless discography, putting out just wonderful album after wonderful album. Doctor Who's on here, which I enjoy a lot. Black Friday is the opening track on there. Not anything to do, I don't think, with what Black Friday's become known as in modern society. This was, way before all that. And yeah, Everyone's Gone to the Movies is a nice one as well. It's a nice track, but yeah, it's for me Steely Dan at this point in the career, pretty much throughout, just didn't really put a foot wrong. Just really melodic, tuneful, jazzy influences in there, very soulful in places, superb lyrics, very witty, very clever, and an album and a band that I do find myself coming back to a fair bit. Okay, moving on now, we've got a compilation We've got some real hard rock here with a bit of psych influence in there as well. We've got Steppenwolf with Gold. So compilation kicks off with the immortal, the one and only Born to Be Wild, which obviously was used to such amazing effects in the film Easy Rider. But there's some other great songs on here as well. I've always loved Magic Carpet Ride. That's on here. The Pusher is superb as well. But yeah, I mean, the primary reason I bought it is because of the fact that it did have Born to Be Wild on it, and as you can see there, you've got your wolf well and truly represented there in the animal artwork. So yeah, nice collection of Steppenwolf, that one. Okay, then we've got 3 albums here coming up. So this was a band that enjoyed having animals on the front. One of them I did miss actually on the first run through when I was putting them together. Kick myself really, but it is only kind of literally the tail end of the animal in question. So it was an easiest one to miss, but I've managed to rectify it. So first of all, we've got the Stranglers. So these 3 albums are all the Stranglers that I'm going to be showing now. The next few. Got the the taxidermy here. Got the rats' heads by the look of it there up on the wall. And this is Rattus Norvegicus. This is the debut album by the Stranglers. You've got a rat on the back as well. I know I wasn't including rats, animals on back covers, but you have got your animals here, as you can see quite clearly on the front cover there. And yeah, this is a brilliant Stranglers album. I mean, I love the Stranglers. Peaches is on here, Down in the Sewer, which is like this sort of 4-part prog odyssey at the end of the album. In other places, it's very very sort of punky sounding, very similar to the only ones I would say at this stage in the career. Sometimes kicks things off. That's a real ear catcher, that one. Goodbye to Lose I've always loved. London Lady has got some nice guitar work on there by Hugh Cornwell. Hanging Arounds on this as well. Get a Grip on Yourself. Yeah, this is, for many, this could even be the Stranglers' best album. What do you think? People watching, if you're into the Stranglers, how highly would you rate that within their discography? Okay, so this is the one that I did miss, but I've rectified it. We've got the tail end there in the corner. There we go. Look, right there. So this is No More Heroes. So the Stranglers released Rattus Norvegicus and No More Heroes in the same year, if memory serves me correctly. So they were absolutely on fire at this point. This is another really good album. I don't think I like it as much as Rattus Norvegicus, and the next album I'm going to show might even be my favourite Stranglers album. But there are some really good songs on this one. I mean, the title track is one of the Stranglers' best ever songs. Love the lyrics of that one. Peasant in the Big Shit is okay. That's not so bad, but Something Better Changes on here as well, which is brilliant. And I've always enjoyed Dagenham Dave too. So yeah, that is one I do need to listen to more. I mean, I listened to it quite a lot when I was younger, when I first got it. I bought it from the flea market in the town that I grew up in. I got it for only a few quid if I recall, actually. But yeah, one that I don't come back to as much as some of the other Stranglers albums I've got in my collection. And I've by no means got all of the Stranglers albums. I think I've only got the first 5 studio albums, but maybe that's one I need to go back to a bit more. This one, however, I do listen to a lot whenever I'm in the mood for the Stranglers. It tends to be Rattus Norvegicus, Black and White, which is an amazing album. No Animals on the front of that one. And then this one, which is The Raven. Love this record. So as you can see, I don't have the press in here that's got like I think there's like a holographic version or something of you can sort of do that with it, and I think it changes picture or something like that. I've not got that one. Don't even think I've even seen one out in the wild, to be honest. So I don't know how rare that pressing is of the Raven, but I've just got this standard version here. But the record itself is great. I love Don't Bring Harry. It's quite a dark track, that one. That's on side 2. It's like a real change in pace, that one, to the rest of the album. Long Ships I love as well. The Raven is superb. Nuclear Device is a great track. Duchess as well. Wow, what a song Duchess is. That's got to be one of my favourite ever Stranglers tunes. Very, very tuneful, very poppy, but I love it. And I just love the whole concept of the Raven as a piece of work as well. So yeah, great album, that one. Might be my favourite Stranglers album, although I do love Black and White as well, and Rettus. Okay, so moving on then. I hope you're all still with me. I feel like I'm really I'm really kind of on it today. I'm determined to work through all these albums. I did and ah about maybe making it into a three-parter, but I thought, no, I've already committed here to making it a two-parter. So when I saw I had over 50 albums to get through, I just thought, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I do a lot of long-form content anyway, so it was just having that energy and kind of keeping things in my mind just to keep going. So if you're still with me, thank you very, very much. Okay, so two albums now by this band. Coming out of Wales, we have another band that take me back to the 1990s and being in high school, and just amazing memories of discovering this band with my best mate Ian, one of my best mates. So I've got here Super Furry Animals with Radiator. What an album this is! Love it. Just a great, great, great album. This is my favourite Super Furry Animals album, and I've always loved that front cover there with the bear and seeing his sort of his darker self there in the reflection. This has got some superb Super Furry tracks on here. Mountain People is one of my favourite ever Super Furry songs. That concludes the album. Herman Loves Pauline is superb. Love that one. Play It Cool is excellent. She's Got Spies is brilliant. International Language of Screaming's on here as well. The Plastic Casual. Honestly, mid 90s alternative guitar perfection. That one. Lots of other instrumentation going on besides just guitar, but this is the a 20th anniversary reissue of it. This one. So this came out in 2017 remaster from came out in 97. Yeah, love it. Great, great, great album that. So that's that one. And then we've also got from the Super Furry Animals album that came out later in the career, we have got Phantom Power. You see the horses there on the front cover and my hype sticker there. This is another remaster I've got. This came out in 2003 originally. And yeah, this is the one with Hello Sunshine's on here, which is lovely. Golden Retriever and Slow Life as well. Let me see if I can try and... Yeah, it's like a die cut sleeve, that one. That's really, really well put together, this one. It all sort of slips out there. It's very, very nicely packaged, but might be a bit finicky for me to get it all out. And I'm conscious of keeping on rolling here. But yeah, this is a great album. A lot more sort of... say this has got more of maybe a kind of a sunshiny poppy influence to it compared to Radiator. This one maybe has got a bit more of a Beach Boysy sort of a thing going on with it. Golden Retriever actually is superb on here. I definitely need to mention the Golden Retriever. That's like a bit of a rocker, that one. Really enjoy that one. Yeah, this is just a lovely, lovely album. Venus and Serena's on this as well. And I'm really looking forward to watching them live with my my very dear friend Ian later this year at the point of recording this vid. Okay, so let's carry on. Right, we've now got 3 albums here by this group. So this group started out very much in like a synth pop sort of realm, did it superbly, and then they really totally changed up their sound as their career progressed, getting into almost like, jazzy ambient territory and doing that superbly as well. So this record here comes from that sort of earlier synth poppy era, but you could see that the sound was beginning to develop. So we've got here It's My Life by Talk Talk. This is a brilliant, brilliant album. We've got our animals represented all over here on this one. Like jigsaw pieces there that, you've got your bird there as well. So we're all covered on the animal front there. The title track, speaking of animals actually, the video for It's My Life with Mark Hollis walking around a zoo, I think, as I recall. It's My Life is just an unbelievable song. It's one of my favourite songs of the era. Brilliant, brilliant track that. Some people may know it. It was covered by No Doubt years later, but the original is just untouchable for me. It's one of my favourite ever songs, that. Does Caroline Knows on here as well, which is superb. Dum Dum Girl's a great opener as well. So we've got that one. Then we've got, also by Talk Talk, Colour of Spring. So you've got your butterflies and insects on there and stuff. I think the butterflies rather than moths, I'm not 100% sure. So need to ask a lepidopterist about that. Oh yeah, we've got it's like a death's head moth thing there or something or other. But we've got here another great, great album by Talk Talk. I've talked about The Colour of Spring, I think, on the channel before. Happiness is Easy's on here. Life's What You Make It, one of their most memorable, maybe arguably their most famous song, perhaps. It's an amazing song, that. Life's What You Make It, never tire of hearing that. Give It Up is another one that I love to bits as well. Mark Hollis's voice on it is just amazing, and Living in Another World is superb as well. So that's The Colour of Spring. And then we have got another Talk record here. We've got Spirit of Eden. So you've got, got a puff in there hiding, and some very exotic creatures there on the tree. So that's Spirit of Eden. And yeah, this one is just a beautiful, beautiful album to put on to chill to. Very, very ambient in places. Big, lengthy instrumental passages before Mark Hollis, comes in here and there with his that gorgeous voice that he's got. That is an absolutely sublime album. That's all I can really say about that. Difficult to pick out favourite tracks, because for me it just kind of plays as one piece, something that you really need to experience from beginning to end. Okay, now we're going over to a couple of albums here by another art rock group, post-punk art rock, coming out of New York. We've got here Talking Heads, which is a band that I love to bits. So here we've got Little Creatures, apt title for the theme of what I'm doing here today. And yeah, we have got creatures knocking around on here. We've got cheetahs and stuff, and yeah, that wasn't one that I missed actually, because I was expecting to see creatures on that, or animals, given the name of it. And yeah, it's got a super colourful back photograph as well there of them, Jerry Harrison and Chris France, Tina Weymouth and David Byrne. But yeah, great album, another one I really enjoy. And She Was, love that song so much. An amazing opening track, and it's got one hell of a closing track as well in Road to Nowhere. Brilliant song, that one. Love that song. They have got some brilliant closing songs, Talking Heads, I would say, actually, on quite a few of their albums. Creatures of Love is excellent as well, but yeah, do check that out. Had some big hits on that one, an album that did very well for the group. And then we've also got here Talking Heads with Naked. So yeah, that was an easy one to spot. So I'll be honest, it's not a Talking Heads album I go back to all that much, really, this one. It's been a long time since I played it, and I really should rectify that. It just isn't one that I grab, to be honest, compared to the other Talking Heads albums in my collection. So it's been years since I've spun it. So it'd probably be unfair to start picking favourites and stuff, because I just haven't played it in so long. So that's just me, holding my hands up. I'd be interested to know if people particularly rate this album within Talking Heads' discography, but I just feel it's been that long since I played it that I can't really talk about that one with any real level of depth. Because if I recall the songs, I need to reacquaint myself with them. I mean, I've had it in the collection for years, so need to play that one again. Okay. Right, how many have we got here now left? One, two, three, four, five. Only got six left now. So if you are still with me now at this point, six left. Thank you so much. I've actually really enjoyed doing this. It's kept me on my toes as well. So thanks again, Jesse, for making the request. Okay, so yeah, that was actually quite a timely and unplanned, almost little aside there, a note, if you will, because this album now that I'm about to show was the album that triggered Jesse's request. So one of the questions in Jack's album art tag was to show an album with an animal on the front cover. So I showed this album now that I'm about to show, and then it was Jesse who wrote in the comments, I wonder how many other albums or worse to that effect that you've got in your collection that have got animals on the front cover, and then hence this being done. So yeah, this was the album that I showed in the art tag, and it is The Teardrop Explodes with Kilimanjaro. So got the herd of zebra there on the front. Lovely album. This is a repress, this one, so this is not the original artwork for this album. I talk about that in much more detail on the art tag video that I did, so please do watch that, and you can find out more as well on what I thought of this album. So I'll move on from that one because I've already talked about it quite a bit. Okay, next up then, got some rock here, coming classic 70s rock coming out of Ireland. We have got Thin Lizzy with Johnny the Fox. Love that cover. Love that. Really, really, really well done, that cover. Very striking. But again, it's one I've just not played for years. It just isn't. I mean, I remember this one better than I do Naked by Talking Heads. But again, more often than not, when I listen to Thin Lizzy, I've only got a few albums of theirs in the collection. I've got Live and Dangerous and I've got Jailbreak, and they're the ones that I tend to put on more often than not. So I do need to listen to this again. Fool's Gold's one that I remember pretty well, and Sweet Marie, I think, as well. And I'm not going to start singing or anything, so please don't worry about that. But yeah, I need to reacquaint myself with that. But what a lovely front cover that is, Johnny the Fox. Okay. Now here's an album that I do remember well. I haven't played it for a while now. This was one I did actually miss, to be honest, the first time I was putting my original pile together, and I thought I only had 88. So been in the Republic of Ireland there with Thin Lizzy, going up to Northern Ireland now. Got the Undertones, and I am including it because they've got the sea creatures there on the bibs there. Looks like they're in a seafood restaurant by the look of it. So I am including it, and it's the Undertones of Hypnotized. So yeah, it's some people might think it's tenuous, but I don't. I mean, they're animals, so they're on there, aren't they? I've had drawings and all kinds of things of animals. So let's have a couple of bibs on there as well, shall we? Okay, so this is a superb album. My Perfect Cousin's on here, which is one of the Undertones' best ever songs. Great lyrics to that one. More songs about chocolate and girls kicks things off. Hypnotized, the actual title track, is really good as well. There's a version of Under the Boardwalk on here as well. The Way Girls Talk is good. So yeah, that's a really good pop punky album. That one. I do prefer the debut, the self-titled debut, but I do really enjoy this one as well. So that's Hypnotized there by the Undertones. Trying to remember their names who are on the front. Who's inside there? Is it Billy Doherty and what's on the front there? I know it's not the O'Neills, I don't think, and it's not Fergal. So just try and remember who's on the front there. Given that I've mentioned them, so sometimes it's handy to have the phone, isn't it, next to you to check these little things out. Yeah. So it's Michael Bradley. Yeah, I'd remembered it was Billy Doherty on there, the drummer, and it's Michael Bradley, the bassist, on there as well. And apparently the photograph was taken by the band's guitarist, Damien O'Neill. Yeah, so I knew it wasn't one of the O'Neill, it was the O'Neills or Fergal Sharkey. But yeah, there we go. We've got Billy and Michael. So I want to make sure I give them their due there by mentioning their names properly. Okay, next up. Yeah, I'll need to consult on that now actually because I know that one's coming up because I can't remember the name of the site. That'll make sense when I get to it. I should remember it from my history, but it's gone out my head, that one, probably because I've been talking for a bit now. I'm going to prepare myself for that one because that is a good fact to know. So there we go. Yeah, that's ready. Right, we're not up to that one quite yet, but it's there. So coming up now, then we've got a superb album here from the 1980s. So this band, for me personally, released three of the best albums in a row in I think in rock music history. To be honest, the growth, the evolution of this group still astonishes me all these years later. And those three albums I go back to so often just because I marvel at how quickly their sound was moving and the way that they just kept changing and tearing up the scripts and doing new stuff. But this album came a bit later from that 70s output. This one's from 1988, came out on the Mute label, and it is Wire with A Bell is a Cup Until It Is Struck. So we've got the horse there on the front cover, and it's quite synth poppy in places. I would say it has got an experimental edge to it, but it's just really tuneful. Like just great melodies on there. You know, Colin Newman on and Graham Lewis vocally. When he's contributing as well, they just sound superb on it. It's got one of my favourite ever Wire songs on there called Kidney Bingos. Please do check that song out. Very sort of stream of consciousness lyrics, but it just works so well. It's almost like the sound of the words coming together that just make that song so easy on the ear. And it's got a lovely, you know, sort of synth kind of laden backdrop to it as well. It's just a really great song, Kidney Bingos. And the Queen of and the King of which is on side one, is superb as well. Yeah, just a really nice album. That again, at the point when I'm recording this album, I've not had it in the vinyl collection for that long, although I did have it on CD for years. This was actually an album that I picked up when I went to Yorkshire on holiday, and I got this in Haworth from a brilliant record shop called Nevermind the Brontes, which is on Main Street in Haworth. So if you're ever in Haworth, please do give Milo, the owner there, a visit. He's got a brilliant shop, and that is one of the records that I got from him. Okay, so this now is the album that I just had to very quickly remind myself of where this actual site is. My A-level history there has totally let me down, sadly. I should have remembered it, but I didn't. But I had to show it and get it right. So we're up to the penultimate record now. We've got XTC here with English Settlement, and this is the Uppington White Horse, which is a prehistoric hill figure in Oxfordshire. So I was trying for the life of me to remember what that was. So it is a 110-metre long Bronze Age earthwork formed by deep trenches and filled with crushed white chalk. So there you go. I needed to bail myself out there with that one as to what that is. So yeah, it's the Uppington White Horse. So lovely album this by XTC. I think this came out in '82 as well. Ball and Chain is on here, isn't it? Yeah. Runaways is superb. I mean, it's a double disc of this one, but it's definitely worth your time and attention. Jason and the Argonauts is fabulous, but the two that I really want to highlight, No Thugs in Our House is brilliant, but it's also got on it just the sheer pop perfection of Senses Working Overtime. Definitely easily one of XTC's biggest and most popular songs, but it is an utter earworm. It is awesome with the whole 1 2 3 4 5 scheme going on, which I do wonder was that sort of, you know, taken from the whole Manfred Mann 5 4 3 2 1. I think it probably would have been, but it just works so well, you know, singing about the five senses, which I just think is genius in itself. So please do check this album out. You know, Colin Moulding and Andy Partridge from a songwriting perspective, just utterly on fire, and it's just got a lovely pastoral gentle sound to it. So I do think that using that imagery in particular does work really well for an album with this type of vibe to it. Okay, and now we're up to the final album. So this is another one that I hope that Jesse will enjoy. I'm sure he will. So this is some weird creature here. I'm not quite sure what this creature is supposed to be, but I've included it because it is a creature of some kind. Jesse will certainly know what it is. But we're finishing off at the end of the alphabet. We've got Frank Zappa with Sleep Dirt. So I don't know what that is supposed to be. It's like some kind of. I should really have checked that, but I just, you know, this was one towards the end. I was thinking, you know, do I include that, do or not? But I decided to include it. Haven't spun this for ages, I have to say. Again, out of the Zappa albums that I've got, which is still very much a work in progress because of how many albums Zappa put out, don't go back to this one very often, and I've already told myself I do need to listen to it again. All I can say is that when I do have vivid memories of playing it and really enjoying it, which is the reason why I've kept it, because I have done purges every now and again over the years, but there was something about this album. I think there might have been maybe been some acoustic stuff on there. Jesse can remind me of that, which I think really sort of spoke to me at the time when I listened to it. There was some guitar work on there, which for me was particularly outstanding. Now, given that Zappa was an incredible guitarist, there was just something on this album that did get my attention at the time, but I really do need to listen to it again. So yeah, that is Sleep Dirt by Frank Zappa. So yeah, I'm not going to let that one go out the collection because I'm still actively continuing to collect Zappa and Mother's stuff. So that is me all done and dusted. Now I'm not sure how long I've been going for there. That this might be one of the longest videos I've done in quite a while, which is saying something. So if you did make it to the end there and you stayed with me for those 50 odd albums or whatever it was, thank you so much for doing so. I really appreciate it. I hope that you enjoyed what I've shown today, and if you've got any comments whatsoever about what I've shown, please do post them because I do love getting back to people in the comments. I always endeavour to reply as quickly as I can, but please do bear with me if it takes a little bit longer than maybe you're used to. If you've been watching me for a while, if there's any albums that you think I may have missed out, do let me know. It may be that I simply just either don't own them in the collection, or it might be that I've overlooked it. I mean, I've got a lot of records in my collection. As I mentioned before and in part one, I did try to be as thorough as I could, and I'm even glad that I took a bit longer to do this video because I would have missed about nine or seven or nine or whatever it was albums that I didn't capture the first time. So yeah, do let me know as well what your favourite albums are that have got animals on the front cover. And I just want to thank Jesse again for putting it forward. It was a great idea, and it was something that I did want to run with because I was curious myself to find out how many in the collection that I actually have. So now I know that it's it's nearly 100. So yeah, it's quite a healthy zoo or menagerie of animals I've got there in the vinyl collection. So yeah, thank you for being here. Really enjoyed doing that. If you are new to the channel, if this is the first time that you've maybe tuned in to me, then please do consider subscribing to the Vinyl Sanctuary. I'd be really grateful if you did. If you do choose to subscribe, then please don't forget to click the notification bell, and that will give you all the alerts that you need as to when I've got new content landing. And if you did like what I did today, then please do give the video a like as well. Give it a thumbs up. I do appreciate that, and it really does mean a lot to me. So yeah, that felt pretty epic. That so I'm gonna call time now. I'm gonna go and put all those records away and put a few to one side. I think the Zappa one and the Talking Heads and a couple of others to put onto the listening pile and reacquaint myself with a few. The Thin Lizzy one as well. And yeah, another good reason why it's great to do these sort of things, because it can reconnect you with your own vinyl collection when they start getting pretty big. It's a nice way just to remind yourself of things you've got and things that maybe you've not given a spin for a while. So yeah, all done. And until next time, take care and bye for now.